Hey guys, welcome back to the Human Condition. I want to start off by saying thank you guys so much for all the recent support on my videos. I really appreciate it. I've seen all the comments and all you guys have left a lot of great advice. I'm gonna try to take some. I know one person said they would love to see a Harry Potter one, and I was gonna do that today, but I'm closer to being almost making it. I think I should have it done within a week, or maybe less than a week for the Harry Potter one. I just gotta refresh a little bit. I've been researching some stuff about it, so I can make a good video on it for you guys, for you, for the person that commented and just you guys in general. But I want to make sure, like I know all the facts before I make it, I guess. But that should definitely be coming out soon. I'm excited to make that my Harry Potter, what brain chemicals represent Harry Potter characters for the brain chemical series. So stay tuned for that. That should be coming very soon. Um, uh, what other things? Someone also suggested maybe to focus more on the, which was a good suggestion. The backdrop can be kind of distracting, I guess, which is a good point. It is pretty distracting, but to stay focused, like try to keep my head more centered, or not really, like just try to bring more attention, stay like in the middle instead of drifting this way and drifting that way. And that was some good advice too. So I'm definitely gonna try to do that, or we get a backdrop, to make sure the background scenery is not too noticeable or distracting for you guys. I'll definitely try to do that for you guys, and I really appreciate all the comments and advice to help the channel grow. I'm definitely gonna try to take some of them. I'm gonna take most of them and take the advice and grow. Grow as a community, and I really appreciate you guys for watching. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you guys. And in this video, since I was gonna do the biology brain chemical video for Harry Potter, since I wasn't super confident in it yet, so I was just gonna keep it more chill and been doing this pattern of doing biology brain chemical videos. So for this video, I was just gonna do and what character roles. Last video I did was what Abbott Elementary characters represent different brain chemicals. This one will be what character roles are the Abbott Elementary characters. So this would be like kind of like my How I Met Your Mother video. So it'd be the protagonist, the overarching protagonist, the deuteragonist, maybe a trigonist, the main antagonist, the secondary antagonist, and the foil of Abbott Elementary. This one's gonna be a little bit tougher because it's a smaller cast, I guess, but shouldn't be too bad. So yeah. So start off, the protagonist for Abbott Elementary is definitely Janine. She's the optimistic person we follow in the story, and it's her constant battle to try to improve the school and the school system as a whole. Also, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the show, Abbott Elementary, I highly recommend to check it out. It's an awesome show. But she's really optimistic, and she's one of the new teachers. And her main challenge, and the main, I guess, antagonist of the show would honestly be considered, if you had to choose one, the school board, because it never gives enough funding to Abbott in the schools that are. It's always a challenge for the school to get funding. So the main antagonist, you could say, is probably the school board. The protagonist was obviously Janine, and I'd say the deuteragonist is actually a lot of the characters in the show, like Gregory, Jacob, and Barbara. I feel like I could be wrong, but I think they're all met through Janine, and that's what shows that Janine's obviously the central character of the story. But we can see, if I'm not mistaken, one of the first scenes is she's in the classroom trying to teach her kids, it's having trouble, and Barbara comes over and gives her advice, and it's like one of the first scenes of the show. And that's how we first introduced Barbara. So I think they're not all protagonists, but they're definitely all probably deuteragonists, or pretty close to it. All the main characters. So Barbara definitely be a deuteragonist. I think we also meet Gregory through Janine, the protagonist, so Gregory be a different deuteragonist, and that kind of makes sense because Janine's storyline with Barbara is different from the one with Gregory. Gregory helps lead her storyline like romantically, which is kind of cool. Barbara helps lead her storyline professionally and to become a more experienced and more mature teacher, which is really cool and kind of awesome to see. It's kind of a wholesome experience to see Janine and Barbara interact because Janine really looks up to her. So it's pretty cool to see. With Gregory, he's obviously her potential on and off relationship, kind of like The Office, Pam and Jim, which also I think I'm going to do in the future for you guys, is the Brain Chemicals for The Office. And that should be a pretty good one, I think. That was pretty cool. And I'd even say Jacob, I think, is met through Janine as well. I'm not sure. I think, yeah, he's met through Janine as well. I'm not sure if it's a group dynamic or it's just him, because that could change a little bit, but he's probably also, he's either a deuteragonist or he honestly might be a trigonist, because I feel like we meet him through the cafeteria probably, and probably through Gregory, because he's closer with Gregory. No, actually he'd probably do deuteragonist too, because he's pretty close to Janine. They're pretty close too, and there's moments with just him and Janine. So, yeah. The only person I think wouldn't be considered deuteragonist to Janine would be Melissa, because even though they interact a lot, they don't interact quite as much as her and Barbara, Gregory, and Jacob. They don't interact quite as much. So I think Melissa would be very central supporting character. Because, not deuteragonist, because she, isn't like guiding Janine's storyline as much as Jacob, especially Gregory and Barbara. I think Jacob might or might not be a deuteragonist. He might be a trigonist. The same with Melissa. So, yeah, so I'll say that probably for that. The foil, the fun-loving foil that always contrasts, that's usually highly liked by people, is I'd say Barbara. Barbara's definitely the foil to Janine, because she's everything Janine kind of aspires to be. She's a really hardworking, very confident in herself, very self-assured, and Janine wants that in her teaching abilities because she's new. So she really looks up to Barbara, and Barbara's like the person that contrasts, makes Janine like the more optimistic, like that shows Janine being really optimistic, being new to teaching, and trying to learn the ropes. So that's really cool to see the dynamic between Janine and Barbara. I would say I got a new title for something, and this one, I feel like every show almost has one, but there's not really a title for it. You can call it so I was trying to figure out my title for it. You can call it the anti-hero of each show, or the anti-villain, or my term was the main antagonistic force. And they're not like the bad guy per se, but they're morally questionable. The morally questionable character. More self-serving character. For example, the people that I'd consider under this term that I thought of was like the main antagonist force, like Barney, because in How I Met Your Mother, he was like one of my old videos. He was the morally questionable one. And the other show I talked about, 5 would also be considered in this, if you look back in the other videos and compare it, 5 would be considered the morally questionable one in the Umbrella Academy. So and typically, they're one of the really liked people in the show. Like Barney wasn't the main character of How I Met Your Mother, but he went down as like the really funny, relatable character because of he wasn't seen as perfect. He showed flaws, and a lot of people relate to people who show their flaws than like someone that doesn't. So for this show, I'd say definitely Ava, because she's got that like self-serving kind of funny, like gonna roast you personality. So she would definitely be considered the main antagonistic force or the anti-hero of the show, and it's probably really well liked by viewers. I think she's well liked by viewers. I'll have to check that out, but I think probably, if I had to guess, she's pretty well liked by viewers. Um, and honestly, I probably, for the first season, she actually might be the main antagonist, I'm being honest, because later seasons not really, but the first season, the cast kind of struggles to get her to talk to the board for getting funding. So she might be the main antagonist for the first season at least, but not the seasons later on. And the overarching antagonist for the first season would probably be the board, the board of education, because of funding and stuff. Secondary antagonist, I don't think there really is one for this video for this Abbott Elementary. I can't really think of the secondary antagonist for it. Trigonist, I'd say the Trigonist is probably, if I had to guess, Melissa and Jacob, because even though they're very important to the story, I think they're both met, I could be wrong, if they are both met through Gregory and Barbara with Janine, they'd probably be, I consider them Trigonists. But if we see them in the show with just like Janine and Jacob talking, which I can't remember how Janine, I feel like most likely Janine probably met Jacob in the cafeteria with everyone in there. In that case, he'd probably be a Trigonist. And Melissa would definitely be a Trigonist, if not just like a really strong supporting character, because she doesn't like guide Janine's storyline quite a bit. And she kind of almost has her own storyline, which made me actually at first think could be considered a second protagonist. But I feel like we don't see her storyline enough for that to be the case. So yeah, so in conclusion, for the character roles, I'd say Janine would be the protagonist. The show has got two deuteragonists, one Barbara, who leads Janine's story professionally and for growth, and Eddie, Gregory Eddie, who kind of leads her romantically and just like romantically and so, like emotionally, like emotional depth. He probably helps her with emotional growth too throughout the show. Potential Trigonist, maybe not 100% sure on this one, would be Jacob and Melissa, because they guide her story to an extent, but not as strongly as Gregory and Barbara, in my opinion. And Ava, that's a good point. Ava would probably be, and Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson would be a strong supporting character. I forgot the Mr. Johnson. He'd probably be a strong supporting character, and Ava would be, Ava would probably be a strong supporting character, maybe the main antagonist, and the main antagonistic force of the show, but the main antagonist of the series. I mean, of the season 1. Or the anti-hero of the entire show, the morally questionable character. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's more of a chill video. What character roles are the Abbott Elementary characters? I'm definitely gonna try to get to the Harry Potter. I need, if you're watching this who commented, I really appreciate it. I'll definitely try to do that for you. Get to the Harry Potter brain chemical video. What brain chemicals are the Harry Potter characters? And I'll definitely try to start positioning my head kind of more in the middle. The focus is on me, I guess, instead of the background, because that one comment person said that made sense. It's pretty cool, but I guess it is pretty distracting. Or I'll try to eventually do a background thing, do like editing to cut out the background. But yeah, I really appreciate all your guys' advice. I'm definitely gonna try to take some, if not most of it, and apply it to my future videos. So thanks you guys. As always, thank you guys again for watching. My next video will either be the biology video for Harry Potter, or I'll just jump straight to astrology and get back to biology soon. Another biology brain chemicals soon, just depending. Just gonna make sure I have all the information for the Harry Potter character roles. Also, my next astrology video, someone asked if I could do Aquarius moon next, and I want to take your guys' advice so you know it. next astrology video will be Moon Aquarius and what it means to be Moon Aquarius. I was going to do in order from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 12. But I was like, someone suggested it, why not just jump from 6 to 11 and let's go back to 7 on my next astrology video. So yeah, as always, thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you want. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.